Hey, Rebels. So, Spirit is acknowledging that you have been as truthful with yourself as you can be thus far, up until this point, that you've proven yourself able. But there seems to be this nudge that continues to present itself to you in one form, fashion, or another, that it seems that you haven't quite understood why it is constantly reappearing. You may potentially have some sense of understanding, um, the expectation that you believe that it is. Spirit said it has little to do with that, but there's more. So, coming into this read, I was, mm, I've been sat down to look at inner child energy, and I was asking Spirit, how is it that we should approach this? There was many things that I would have loved to do, but as we sat down today, because this has been lingering since yesterday and probably longer, um, it's all coming together. And so when I sat down today, things were happening completely differently than what I thought I was going to walk into. But being on this side of discipline, you definitely have to submit, surrender, tap into the unconscious, the subconscious, the suppressed. And this deck here in particular, I was actually putting it up, and a card peeked out at me, and then another one, and then another one. And I felt Spirit say, you know what? Draw it like you are drawing your readings. Take the top and the bottom. And this is what we have, along with other things. But let's dive into it. So, do understand that some things may pop up that may be triggering. Um, so, at any point, if you need to leave and come back, by all means do. Being in this fire horse year, a frequent word that has been coming up more than normal, because normally you hear things, right? But when you see the thing, when you see the experience come into a word that all the experience can be defined by, it triggers something different in you to pay attention to. And the word that has been coming up a lot since right before the fire horse year and right after the fire horse year had been seeing it in writing, been hearing it a lot. Burden has definitely been something that seems to resonate over a certain collective. And this burden, I'm being told, is the childhood healing. Are you okay in your childhood healing space? Have you looked back at your story after the healing that you've even had thus far? Have you looked back at your childhood stories in relations to how your childhood, how your inner child, how your adolescence has shown itself here in your adulthood, here in your growth, here in your progress now? You have been trying to make your way through so much, and it's so much easier to tell someone what you are versus actually being able to see how others bear witness of that themselves. Yes, and I understand. Spirit gets it. Spirit has been trying to guide you into the space of understanding and letting go of needing it to be understood by anyone other than yourself in a respectful, calm, appropriate way. That you being an adult, you being grown, is not something that is easily spoken, because your words does not benefit you actually showing it as evidence in your life. The times and the moments that you have spent throughout your life trying to get someone to see something of you that they are not willing to accept as your defined word, as your definition, whether it be an emotion of yours or theirs, whether it be success of yours or theirs. Spirit said you need to let go of, there is a need. There is a need. Thank you for the correction, Spirit. There is a need for you to let go of people needing to know that you have the know-how and just do it. Though you have shown yourself to not be as performative or performing in many ways that poked at your insecurity and triggered you and caused you to explode, there is further growth that is to be had. There is always more growth to be had. I'm seeing someone mining. They're mining through a property here on earth that belongs to them. And this is figuratively speaking. Everyone, the space that your feet land on, though we perceive it to be ownership of someone else, the space that your energy takes up, the space that your energy has been through, to clear and clean that void is always going to be something that you are going to be faced with. And that is perceived as a burden is not going anywhere, because no matter how much you clean it, the residue of it will still be a part of you. The remnants of it will be a part of you. And these are your lessons. And these are your validations and your proof of what it is that you've succeeded through. This is your success. This is your purpose. All of that. So to dive into your younger years, your younger days, including the day that's behind you that just left hours ago. Though you feel that it's time to put something on a shelf, it's going to present itself throughout your time, throughout your presence, with needed attention. So dust off that space, dust off those books, dust off those projects, those plans. Why do you still have that? Why are they still there? And if Spirit said yes, we're talking about the physical things that you can see. But most importantly, we're talking about the memories and the stories that's told. Have your stories, have your memories of your younger years, your younger days, your prior experiences. Have they caught up to the intellect of how you perceive life and understand things new now? Have you went back into your archive to realize that though those things are of memory and some perceive them to be of the past, how are those her dialects? How are those thoughts? How are those memoirs being updated? Readers don't know as much about editing as they feel that they need to connect to the characters of the stories, being able to imagine the placements, being able to feel a part of and in relations to. And the same thing is true about you as the narrative, as the narrator of your being and what all your being has transpired and aspired to. When it comes down to any edition, limited edition, books, toys, products, everything has an evolution period until it's unattended to or mismanaged. And if it's mismanaged, the consumer has no way of knowing what direction things are going to go in the level of dependency the consumer has on the product, of what's being produced, of your character, of your product, of your being. They have a choice of whether they continue to latch on in anticipation, whether they make demands, present requests, or whether they let go entirely. Spirit said that this is something that you have definitely ignored while you have been encountering, though you've given it the attention that you have been willing to accept due to your now moment's understanding. So, coming into this read, okay, we're going to go here. We're going to go here. So, Spirit wants us, we got the number 528, which all three numbers are correct. So, in any perceived order, but in an order of 528. The spiritual meaning indicates positive transformation, changes are, let's start that over. Indicates positive transformation, changes are being financially awarded, abundance and prosperities in your life. Then we have 1611 or 1611. This number is the mindset creates reality number. This number represents maintaining positive, optimistic, thoughtful focus on your intentions to manifest desires, outcomes, and align with your higher purpose. Combining energies of new beginnings, leadership, the number 1, with balance, harmony, and responsibility, number 6, of ultimately encouraging personal growth and spiritual awareness. So by all means, take that how that resonates. So we were jumping into the childhood message and all of this changing energy of burdens, and we're being in a fire horse year, and the things that are the bricks that are gonna be laid by you. Everything is still your choice. Everything is still your options. But I'm sure you don't want to go back and have to rebuild bricks. You want bricks of stability. So looking into this, I love this. I don't really like Disney, but I love this book. So it's the Who's Who book. And we pulled 2 characters because when these cards came out, because once again, remember I said I was not going to pull this deck, but I was putting up the deck and Spirit was like, take it off the shelf. I still went to the Who's Who book because I was like, okay, so maybe we're not going to do an inner child read, but it definitely, all of this comes together. So I want you to keep in mind the characters. How do you say his name? Auguste Gusteau from Ratatouille. Auguste Gusteau was a restaurant owner who died mysteriously after, and I've never watched Ratatouille. He died mysteriously after his 5-star restaurant went down to 4 due to a food critics review named Anton Ego. Gusteau continued to show throughout the movie Ratatouille to coach Remy and be Remy's imaginary soulmate and mentor. Remy was the rat. Then we also got Pinocchio. Now, Pinocchio was a wooden toy who wanted to become a boy. But Pinocchio had 3 flaws about him. One was being able to tell the truth. Another one was being chasing after adventures. Let me look. One moment. Chasing after adventures and being very shruggy about what his sense of right and wrong was, which made Pinocchio an easy mark for practice con men in the world. Now, why and how does this connect? I'm sure you may have, thought of something for your reasoning, but let me implement something else. Your childhood was so violating. Your adolescence experience, your moments of immaturity and insecurity from the days that are behind you were so brutal to you that it discouraged you from actually being able to see yourself as others saw you valuable, especially due to your ignorance. When they say ignorance is bliss, we oftentimes think of ourselves like, oh, well, I was ignorant to it. So, yeah, I had a ball, though I wouldn't do it again. But turn that around. Ignorance is all, your ignorance is bliss for others. And within our more unattentive, unaware, unknowing, unresearched state of mind, ignorance proceed from anyone is bliss when another person does not have good intentions, well intentions, or nurturing intentions. If they don't know what it is to nurture you, to be patient with you, to understand that in that moment is an opportunity for them to not teach you a disciplinary lesson, but to guide you and be an example discreetly by just being, by being admired. And at times you have been that person that has been admired, who was so discreet, who didn't realize other people were watching you, learning from you. And there was times that you did notice and you became rather rebellious and you wondered why they treated you with such violent, volatile energies, hands, and careless. There's been so much about you that you have allowed to be perceived as it just happens to you. This is just the way things are going to be. And here with these three cards, the options: walking in other people's shoes, plant or plan, and spiral. It has weighed so heavy on your energy, even when you're at the point of decluttering, trying to realize what to let go and what not to let go, because everything seems as is, as a spider web of connection. You see that you no longer relate to something, but then you see it as a resource and beneficial to something else. And it goes on and it goes on, and then it attached to multiple things. And this is the same thing that your inner child went through. And where you are now is not the mind state or the mindset that your inner child was at. The lessons were so harsh. Words was just as bad as a beating. People's looks, the energy that you could not connect to, and that seemed as if it was giving you so much pushback from everything that was your purity. It trembled over you. It toppled over you. I'm seeing Simba in The Lion King when he fell down in that, that canyon. And I believe there were like water buffaloes or something of some sort, so much bigger than him, who was just trampling. and stampeding over his innocence. You endured that in so many different ways. The Spirit said we couldn't begin to allow me to, as a physical vessel, to speak the words and give you every relatability and definition there is to it. But Spirit really wants you to tap into this energy and into this space and have these conversations with your inner child and your adolescence and everything that you were and had been before you now today. Get in touch with those emotions. Rewrite that energy with understanding so you can take yourself away from and out of yourself now. Take yourself now away from and out of the abused mindset, the abused nervous system that has become your norm of energy. The Spirit is inviting you to do this with the help of this message. Spirit, trust your discernment that you are going, when ready, that you are going to push yourself ounce by ounce and apply the measurements bigger as you're able to because of the support of where you start and how you choose to continue. You have been carrying with the ten of Wands, you have been carrying such a weight that you have reached beyond the limitations of being able to hold this in and continue to set it to the side, put it on checklist after checklist at the end of each day because you didn't accomplish it today. Because the weight is adding. With this cycle that you have closed, the energy from your past experiences are showing up and it is being re-revealed as an insecurity because you have yet to heal these spaces and work with these spaces and give permission to these spaces to find their place, not just within you, but outwardly in the world to be assisted and guided. You are so overloaded, all because of this new beginning, because the Spirit is inviting you to work on is a needed resource, is a needed behavior, is a needed discipline, is a needed conversation, is a needed necessity for you to be able to move forward beyond this cycle, beyond this new beginning, beyond just the I want to start point. Your emotional connection and how you invest in yourself, how you've invested in yourself being empathetic and being an empath has come to meet its end. So I'm sure you want to know what's beyond being an empath. What's beyond being an empath is you respecting yourself enough to know that though you are empathetic, that you can be empathetic towards others. The importance of your life experience is to know how to healthily balance centering yourself. And in order to center yourself and love yourself and value yourself and know what it is that others see in you and desire of you when they come into your life, it's now for you. Confirmation with my honey screaming in the background, my little baby. It's now for you to understand that your compassion to others is going to be important with your discernment. That the time that you give to others is about the example that you lead with and not the energy that you give to them. It is not about the energy that you speak over them. It is the energy that you bring and share into their space. It is about you realizing that though you went through certain things and that though you made certain progress, remember how hard you had to strive to get to where you are now. Remember the times that there was no one there to hold your hand. And this is not about being spiteful. This is not about saying, hey, kid, I figured it out. Now you got to figure it out. This is about remembering that those times in being in hermit, those times of having to be alone and put together your pieces and connect your dots, how mind-blowing. And I'm seeing what is it called? I'm seeing like a cyst. Now, there are certain cysts, I believe, that if they explode, they can be deadly. And there were many cysts within inside of your energy. And every time one exploded, there was a rebirth for you. That energy was released. That bubble popped. But you needed to be able to see you and how you showed up. And now it's time for others to realize that the things that you do care about, you can't give so much energy to care about when it outwardly has to do with another person and their healing, when they haven't yet to tap into the resources of themselves. It is time for you to take the burden off of yourself of being so nurturing beyond the means of even your overflow, and apply that attention, that love, that care, that devotion to yourself. That it is okay for no to be a complete sentence. That it is okay for I don't care to be a complete response. Because in combination of your energy, your healing, your progress, your detection that you've made to this point, you in this space now have worked so hard. Here with the King of Wands, and this is how this came out. Here with the King of Wands, the Emperor poked through as I was trying to put the deck back. Emperor being the top card. So I just wanted to show you that. But let's look at these. So, the King of Wands, natural born leader, you are. Such a natural born leader that you are. The Emperor at the bottom, you worked on your inflexibilities. And now Spirit is saying there's a repeat to do. It's old. This is old-fashioned recovery and healing. Reruns are about to play in your head of things that you felt that you forgot about. And each time the episode plays, it's going to play like the movie Groundhog Day. But it's for you to pay attention to the scavenger hunt. What do they call them? The Easter eggs in these memories. For you to pay attention and draw in closer to what is popping up different. Of the roles, of the environment, of the things, of the feelings, of the emotions, of the words. You've done that before. You've done this before. Just with different lessons, and lessons that now you can say, oh, that was hard, but it was easy. And now you're back at the hard part. And with everything that's happening in the sky, There is so much fire energy. Can you pace yourself appropriately, properly, stomach going, fasting appropriately through this fire energy? Or will you be illy disciplined and rush to disaster? You have this choice. You have this option. Remember that you do not know all that there is to know, even of your own story, even of your own moments of sacrifice. This time around, you're the student again, as well as you are the teacher. Know that there's going to be others watching, but this is not about them. This is solely about you. So that aggravation, that irritation that you used to feel, that you may still feel, of wanting to do things without needing the attention and the all eyes on you, when you are so in the dark about what is about to be revealed to you. That is a part of this lesson. That is a part of this momentum. That is about to be confirmation. That is about to be required of you. Your fatherhood, your father issues. Now, we've been told that man is leader. And I feel like that this is unveiling that delusion, because in order to be a leader, you have to be taught. In order to be taught, you have to understand yourself, how you learn, how you operate, how you function, where these things came from, these beliefs. Have you taken yourself from the belief of society and actually looked at yourself as an individual? There it is. As an individual, of making your own choice if the validation and gratification of others was not all eyes on you. If someone's critique was not there to manage your emotions. Wow. So you have big dreams, big things manifesting. That means that you need to pay attention to where you're giving your energy to and how your energy has been harvested. Not just of you, but of others. Spirit said, trust that even if you fight with yourself, you are going to be accountable. You are going to hold yourself accountable. You are going to develop your discernment of your truth versus your then truth. No competition. When they say that there's the truth, your truth, and that person's truth, it's the same thing that you're operating in now with your inner self and what you need going forward, as well as what you've endured in the past that you need to bring and revamp in order for you to proceed forward. You're going to see the truth that you had then, the truth that they had then, the truth that you've learned since then, the truth that's necessary now, the truth that was necessary then, and so many other forms of the truth, the truth, the truth, the truth. By the end of this year, you are going to reach such a landing space that you are going to hit the ground running in confidence and esteem, so long as you allow yourself to go on this venture, as Pinocchio said, to become a real boy. Because ultimately, when it came down to Pinocchio, Pinocchio loved Geppetto so much. And it was his love for Geppetto. And not mean that Geppetto for you has to be a person, but it's an energy that you desire, that you are in reach for, that you is willing to make this change, this fiery change for. I'm crazy. Both of these are Aries energy. Wow. You were willing to make this fiery change for is your Geppetto, whatever that is that is drawing you in, that when it shows and displays such disappointment in you, you want to adjust, you want to, I know people have an issue with the word submission, but what else can you call it? You submit, you give in, but yet you don't fade, you grow. That's beautiful. So pay attention to where your energy is being harvested. So actually, Spirit said, put that back. We're going to go. All of this is because of reactive abuse. People wanting to be higher than others that got you to this space. Look at yourself in the times that you feel that is trying things and moments that this year that you feel is trying to get the best of you and work from that space. What do you feel is trying to get you to react? What do you feel is trying to pull your card, your number, and trying to be combative with you to push you into a submission that is not, that seems to be not about your growth? Because it is about your growth, right? What is this? Clairtangiency, clear touch sense. So this is the psychic ability to perceive information, emotions, or history about a person, place, or object by simply touching or holding. And that may be something that you had when you were younger, and something that you're surprised about seeing about yourself now. We also have retiring the clubhouse. This is about you being very serious. This is about your sobriety. This is about you thrifting. This you being thoughtful of yourself, conscious about your growth, potential, and your moderation. All right, moving forward. The middle meeting, compromise. Compromise with your light and your dark. They're not against each other. One is not bigger than the other. This is about bringing in balance. This is about having grace. This is about having that tough conversation. Just like a relationship with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, your parent, your child, your boss. Something that seems tough. You are having this. What's the movie called? Unlimited Sunset with Samuel L. Jackson, and is his name something Davis? I don't know, but look it up. I think it's called Unlimited Sunset. It's a great table conversation. Um, One guy was about to off himself. Samuel L. Jackson saved him, and he questioned him about why would you want to let yourself, why is life so bad? Why would you want to do yourself? There is more to live. And there was a change. There was a turn the table moment. All right. Your dark is going to help your light see something that your light did not accept to be light because it was coming from the dark, and vice versa. Pay attention to yourself. Give yourself grace. This is about POV and where your energy is being harvested. All right. We want things to grow. Not all things are meant to stay all day in the darkness or a lifetime in darkness. So then we have scratch at the surface until your fingers bleed, meaning separate art from craft. Okay. Meaning separate art from craft. Try something new the old fashioned way. And I'm even realizing the teddy bear with his ear taken off. It's time to go back in this vase, okay? There's messages. There's messages, but you can't get in that vase unless you shake it to turn upside down, crack it. All right? Take that how you need to. Then this weirdly lovely picture. Be the art you wish to see in the world. Your work should not be selfish. Dress the part. Dress the part. Be yourself. All you can do is show up as you. I just split the deck, and we have reconciliation. It's time for you to reconcile with yourself, because if you feel that it's time for you to move forward, all right, somebody else on love and wisdom. If you feel that it is time for you to move forward and for you to grow and for you to have, it is also time for you to reconcile with your beings, your versions, your errors, your ERA, your ER, the other ways of saying errors and arrows of yourself. Tap into this ability with yourself, because at the bottom of another deck that I was trying to put up, the bitch and snitch and the one that always like to, it's time to expose yourself. You got the world. You are the world. Your sacral, your solar. You are the world. Your crown. Your chakras, even that surround you outside of your body. Tap into yourself, and so you can be more familiar with who you are in a state of being within your wholeness. WHOLE. I believe I spelled that right. Ness, all right? So, Rebels, I love you so much. I love you so much. Be humble, be blessed. Go take care of you. Go do what you need. Go do what you need your life to do for you. Because just you saw me just reach over there. Now, you bad. You bad in the most good, blessed, respectful type way. Handle yourself with care. You are a work of art. Go take care of you. Go do what you need to make it do, baby. I love you. Go Rebels.